The gap strategy. Why high earners still feel broke. Let me tell you about my neighbor, Marcus. 3 months ago, Marcus landed a $120,000 job at a tech company. Within 2 weeks, he bought a Tesla Model 3, $50,000 car, financed, obviously. I watched him pull into the driveway with that thing. You could see the dopamine radiating off him. He made it. Fast forward 90 days, Marcus knocks on my door asking to borrow my lawnmower. His broke. Can't afford to fix it or replace it right now. Tight month, he says. Here's the thing. Marcus isn't stupid. He's making 6 figures. But he's also completely broke. And if you're watching this feeling personally attacked, good, because making more money is a scam if you do it wrong. High income with low margin isn't wealth. It's just expensive poverty with better furniture. You don't have an income problem, you have a gap problem. The gap is simple. It's your profit margin on life. Income minus ego-driven expenses. And for most high earners, that number is terrifyingly close to 0, or worse, negative. There's a financial law you need to understand, Parkinson's law. In finance, it means your expenses will always rise to meet your income. It's financial gravity. You can't fight it with willpower alone. The data backs this up brutally. 52% of Americans earning $100,000 to $150,000 live paycheck to paycheck. Even at $200,000 plus, 36% are still in the same trap. These aren't people who can't do math. They're people who upgraded their lives faster than their income could sustain. They closed their own gap. Let's talk about what's actually destroying your gap. Forget the lattes. I'm talking about the big 3: housing, transportation, and food. The car trap. Cars are depreciating assets. They lose value the second you drive them off the lot, yet we treat them like status symbols that validate our success. Here's the trap. You get a raise, your brain immediately whispers, you can finally afford that upgrade. So you trade in your 3-year-old car for a new one. Every 3 years, you repeat this cycle. The reality check is, if you kept that car for 10 years instead of trading every 3, you'd save hundreds of thousands over your lifetime. That's not frugality. That's wealth building disguised as patience. Marcus's Tesla? It's costing him $800 a month plus insurance. That's $10,000 a year disappearing into a machine that takes him to the same job a $15,000 Honda would. The housing trap. The second you get a raise, the housing market starts whispering, you deserve better. You move from a $1,500 apartment to a $2,500 apartment. Why? Because you can afford it now. But here's what actually happened. You just gave away 100% of your raise to a landlord. You closed your gap before the money even hit your account. Being house poor is the fastest way to destroy wealth. Your home is where you sleep. It's not a report card on your life success. Now let's talk about how you actually build the gap, the invisible raise strategy. Here's the rule. When you get a raise, a bonus, or a side hustle payout, 100% of that new money goes directly to investments or savings. It never touches your checking account. It never enters your lifestyle. Why? Because if the money becomes visible, you'll spend it. Your brain will find a way. You'll justify it as a reward for hard work. The reward fallacy. That voice in your head that says, I worked hard, I deserve this upgrade, that voice is the enemy of wealth. You know what you actually deserve? Freedom, time, options, the ability to walk away from a toxic boss without panic. The reward fallacy trades those things for a nicer couch. Here's the psychology. If the money never enters your lifestyle, you can't miss it. You live on $70,000. You get a raise to $90,000. If you automate that $20,000 into investments before you see it, your lifestyle stays at $70,000, but your gap just went from 0 to $20,000. That's how wealth is built, not by earning more, by capturing more. Let's talk about your finish line. Your freedom number, the amount you need invested to never have to work again, is determined by your spending, not your income. The math is simple. Take your annual spending and multiply by 25. That's roughly how much you need invested, using the 4% rule. If you spend $40,000 a year, you need $1 million. If you let spending creep to $80,000 as your income rises, you now need $2 million. Do you see what just happened? By upgrading your lifestyle, you didn't just spend more, you moved the finish line twice as far. You made freedom harder to reach. Every time you close your gap, you're not just losing money, you're losing years of your life. Here's what people miss. The gap doesn't just buy money, it buys time and autonomy. A $20,000 annual gap means you can quit a soul-crushing job without financial panic, take a sabbatical to reset, start a business without betting the mortgage, say no to opportunities that pay well but drain you. Marcus, my Tesla-driving, lawnmower-borrowing neighbor, he's trapped. He can't leave his job. He can't take risks. He can't even fix his lawnmower. That car didn't give him status. It gave him a cage. Stop what you're doing right now and calculate your gap. Income minus spending. What's the number? If it's $200, you're losing. If it's $2,000, you're surviving. If it's $20,000 plus, you're winning. Now pick one lever. Earn more, side hustle, negotiate, upskill. Spend less, kill one of the big three expenses. Pull that lever aggressively for 90 days. Don't tell anyone, don't celebrate, just execute. Because here's the truth high earners don't want to hear. Your income is meaningless if your gap is zero. You're just running faster on the same treadmill. Wealth isn't what you make, it's what you keep. It's the space between what you earn and what your ego demands. Build the gap. Protect the gap. Let the gap buy your freedom. Everything else is just expensive noise.